Hey, what's going on, guys? So I'm doing this a little bit earlier than expected. I had somewhere to be in the next 30 minutes, so I'm going to go through this quickly. Mind you guys that today is Thursday going into Friday, so it is a trap day. If you guys did play yesterday, most all of you should have made some money. EU was perfect setup. GU was a perfect setup for a buy. AU was that continuation. If you guys caught the my analysis during the news yesterday for this shot up, you could have held it up for another continuation up to these at least this high, and then as well as gold shot up to this point, but then it retraced back down, which is going to get ready for some consolidation. I also called out UChief for a sell yesterday during the analysis. That was around this area. It was actually, where was it? It was around here, I think. It was going to be a straight shot down or something. Yeah, so I was telling you guys to look for a sell on this, and it ultimately dropped last night during New York, so you held that. You had the good UJ. I said it was either going to break this point up to the top and then drop, or go through it and retest and continue up, and that's exactly what it did. I didn't play these pairs. I didn't look at this one and look at GJ. It shot up. We'll go over it. EA did continue down, which was for the news, but then during the news this morning, something, or there must have been Aussie news, but it shot the fuck up. So if you would have played it, I think I had the take profit right here, right at that low. So it just missed that wick. But if you would have held it, you could have grabbed your pips a little bit sooner and then taken those profits. GA, I think it did the same thing, shot down and came back up. G Chief was in consolidation. Remember, we drew up these trend lines here yesterday. It was going to go in and out. This is exactly what I drew up yesterday. It was when it came through, came up, down, boom, boom, and now we're going to wait for this thing to not really do anything. It's going into Friday. I don't really see G Chief kind of moving that much, especially since it's a trap thing in the middle. So let's go over these pairs, guys. Let's go see what we have, and let's get started. So for EU, last time we called the rise, it shot up to the top. I was saying that it was in a fringe. It was hitting the supply and demand zone, and that we were going to be looking for a possible shot down. It did pull back, but I did look at the charts as they were coming up, and I saw this thing shooting up a little bit more. So when I saw news was coming out, we had these things for buys. If you guys took these buys, you would have made some money. I think this thing shot up from the bottom here to the top, 85 pips. So you could have caught anywhere between 40 to 60 pips if you would have gotten at the right time. But let's look at these higher time frames to finish off the week. This is the weekly. I actually think this thing's going to go back up to here. So remember, if you guys from weeks ago, fucking almost a few months ago, we were calling that these were going to be head and shoulders. We were calling the head and shoulders right here, right? This was the left shoulder, this was the head, and then this was going to shoot down. And when it was chopping in this section, we were looking for it to come possibly shoot back up and then drop. Well, I think this head and shoulders is playing out. It's just not playing out the right way. So you got the left shoulder, the head, it dropped down, formed the new low, pull back in consolidation on the lower time frames, but on the weekly, it's just a simple push back up to the side. Once it shoots back up, then we can look for that to drop back down. But that's just over the next several weeks. So we'll see how this thing pans out. The daily RSI, if you look at the TDI right here, it is coming out of the volatility band. So it's above the stationary 50. I see this thing shooting up towards the Mayo on the daily. Right? That's the next point. If it does that, that's testing this high. Guys, if it takes out this high right here, which is like about here, it's fucking taking off. It's going up to the zone right there. This is literally where the left shoulder is supposed to be, or the right shoulder, and then drop. So we'll see how things pan out. But I do believe this thing is going to be shooting out. 4 hour is above the stationary 50. The volatility bands are expanding outwards, meaning the volatility is increasing. And if you see on the 4 hour here, it's going straight up to that fucking blueberry. So guys, expect, if it doesn't happen tonight, it's happening beginning next week, and expect it to rise up to that 4 hour blueberry. I don't really see this thing kind of pulling back that much. So here are the scenarios that we have tonight. If it moves, consolidation, continuation up, no pullback, right? That's one. The other one is drop, come up, goes ahead and shoulders on the 15-minute, pulls back, hits the water. As the water comes around, obviously this is not drawn to proportion, but you get it. As it comes around, then we'll look for this thing to shoot back up. But ultimately, that's what we're going to be looking for. So just pay attention, and we'll see where it goes. GU is probably going to be the same thing weekly. Let's start the weekly. This thing is pulling back to that weekly water for the pullback. So I'm just letting you guys know that. Daily, it's going up to the Mayo. Yeah. Once it hits that Mayo, what's up? After this. Gotcha. 15 minutes. Well, actually, you guys, yeah, do your thing. If there's, all right, thanks. If you guys see this on the TDI right now, it's between the water right now and the Mayo. That's where most of the movement happened. If you guys have ever seen my trainings, you'll see me when it reverses. The best time to get inside of trades is when it's between the water and the Mayo. This is where most of the volatility happens. And to back that statement up, you'll see that the volatility bands are starting to widen out. The RSI is coming out of the volatility bands, already out of it, made a new high. This thing is going to the overbought zone. That's the ultimate goal of the RSI right now, is to get to the overbought zone. That overbought zone is that Mayo. So you guys are still looking for buys on GU. You can hold them if you're in them. We'll swing them, whatever. It's fucking rising. And if you see this, it broke out of the channel. We do the trend line here to here. We do the trend line from here to here. Didn't pull back yesterday. Broke it out to the upside. Guys, 4-hour blueberry. So the EU's 4-hour blueberry, GU's 4-hour blueberry. That's what we're looking for it to go over tonight going into next week. So that's what you're looking for. And it's the same thing. I don't think GU is really going to be pulling back. I think it's going to do this, consolidate, 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 and shoot up. All right, we'll be watching that. AUD, we called this during the chat yesterday. So if you caught it, awesome, fuck yeah. People got some 20 pips, 30 pips, and then ultimately held it overall. Let's see, weekly. If this thing closes tonight or tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern time and it closes like this or higher, that's a railroad. That's a reversal pattern. We'll be looking for buys. I think it's going to shoot up regardless, but we'll see how it is. It's hitting the daily catch-up right now, which implies two things. One, it's either going to blow past it, right, or it's going to throw a railroad and continue down for a retest, then shoot up. We'll see how it goes. AU is also those very clean patterns. So we'll probably be looking for this thing overall to take a maybe pull back down and then rise. But that's just my ultimate. That's just from what I'm seeing on the daily. We'll go to the 4-hour. See, now this is where things get a little interesting. This might not drop all the way back down because of that big consolidation here. What this could do, if it doesn't do this, right? I don't know if it's going to do that. I don't think it will because of the RSI, you know, how it's still above the stationary 50. I think this is just going to come back down for a stationary 50 hit and then ultimately rise back up to that Mayo, all right? So that's what we're going to be looking for. So EU, GU, AU, you're still looking for buys. EU and GU are going to the 4-hour blueberry and AU is going to the 4-hour Mayo. It's between here. It's not really divergent, so do expect some sort of pullback down towards that Mayo, and then we'll look for a continued rise, all right? Gold is getting ready for some consolidation. It is oversold. It didn't really form a W, but it is forming some sort of patterns. I think this was the initial rise, and then pullback, and then we're going to see a continuation rise. There's no divergence. It just still not my favorite pair. Oh, here we go. So if you see this, I'll even draw a little bit cleaner because it's not touching. We have a trend line here. 1, 2, broke it. 3, tested it. So then we're going to be looking for this. We could expect this because gold is a very technical pair. I say it all the time. What else do we have here? We have this from here to here. Right? So we have an exact momentum phase of where this thing is possibly going to go. So no really good patterns that I'm seeing here on the 4-hour yet, but do expect a continued rise on gold. Possibly like here. Because it looks like it's forming the head and shoulders. You got price. Wow, can't even draw it. Price divergent going down slightly, and then price up here in the charts going up. So possibly looking for those things to be a buy, and then or form up head and shoulders and maybe a shot back down. We'll see how it goes. But it's Friday, so we'll see how it pans out. U-Chief was the continued sell. If you guys sold it yesterday, sold it around here, you would have caught the sell and taken it for the good. All right. Now it's hitting that low, so it did come down to that actual predicted zone, right in the center of it. Let's look at this weekly. Still looks like it's going down. Could wick possibly. This looks like it's going to be a continued shot on the daily. If you see this 1, 2, the only thing is that if it could do this, shoot up here, and then we'll see that boom, boom, up to that water, and then reversal. That's one thing that could happen. If not, it's going to just keep going down to the oversold zone, and this will just blow out that low. All right, so we'll see how this goes. 4-hour. Didn't take out that low yet. Not oversold. This thing could go up still, to be honest, and it's divergent. Divergent here. We'll see how this goes because right now this kind of looks like it should be going up. That's what it looks like. Or it could do like this. It's a little different. Let me look at this 15-minute chart, see if I can find some precision here. So these are the outcomes you have. Hits that water. Hits that water. Comes down. Doesn't take out that low. Breaks the water to the top. Then rises. That's one scenario. Or one, it just breaks that low and continues down. It's divergent here. So it could be going up, to be honest, for a pullback. We'll see how it goes. And then kind of play it off of that. The fact that it didn't take out this low is leading me to believe that this is going to set up for some sort of buy. But it's only a pullback, if that makes sense. So let me look at this monthly, honestly. The monthly says it's going down. So I think that what we're going to see here is just a continuation. And I think what it's going to do is I think it's going to break this low, to be completely honest. I don't think it's going to continue because that monthly is strong. And that thing is saying complete drop, like quarter wood drop. It needs to at least go down and retest the zone. So look for that thing to take its hit. UCAD monthly. It's getting ready to form that continued drop. Wicking weekly. If it throws this, it's a railroad down. That would be a nice setup. Daily was a nice drop. I think it's going to go down a little bit more. Was it below the stationary? I think it was. Yeah, just below it. So it could go back up, honestly. Hitting that blueberry, it's not the crazy divergence that I like to see, meaning it could just be a small pullback to the upside and then a rise or a drop. So it's not even divergent on the hour. So that means it could just do this, drop again, or break it, pull back to the water and rise. It's not the best looking pair, but the fact that it just broke all these lows to the side here, it's hitting this zone right as we speak. Let's see. Let's see if I can draw this right. Right here. I think it's going to break it. I think it's going to break the zone and continue down. So that's what my guess is. Doesn't look good for a sell. UJ looks good for the buy on the monthly right now. I mean, it's not wicking yet, but I think this thing's going to continue up just like we predicted. Still looking good for buys. Look for buys. Broke that high yesterday. You're buying it. It's going out. Look at the TDI. What? It's going to the overbought zone. Damn it. It's wicking. Made a new high. Didn't break this one yet, so consolidation. It's divergent. So the most you'll see on the hour, it's divergent up here. If you guys see that, price is going up on the charts. Price is hitting a wall on the overbought zone of the TDI. Hence, possible pullback, consolidation. As it pulls back, rises towards that water. Who knows? It could consolidate a little bit longer than that, actually, where it just kind of goes up, down, and rise. But I am expecting this to be a complete rise. So stop hunt low, rise. Consolidation, rise. That's what you're looking for. And the same thing is going to be for GJ. It's hitting that water on the weekly. Ooh, the monthly's getting ready to rise too. Going up. Could pull back though. It's hitting that Mayo, but it's not showing any signs of it slowing down. I think it's going to break through it. Broke through on the 4 hour. It's not divergent. It is divergent on here. So hour looks good. Most I could say is this. Pull back. So wait until next week to play this, to be honest. Let it pull back. Let it consolidate. if it does rise up tonight, it's going to bounce off the water and go, or bounce it between the middle and go, or shoot down towards the middle and go. You got 3 options here, but just wait for it to pull back and look for the buying potential on it, and we'll go from there. EA, a drop, came back up. This could be the head and shoulders. I think this thing's getting ready to do another drop again. I don't see it just going all the way back up. So we can hear. So we could see a potential drop on this next week if this continues up to this area right here. Right there. If it shoots up to there, that will complete the head and shoulders. And then we'll look for a consolidation and a drop next week. So continue up tonight. I don't really see any signs of it dropping yet. So continue up until about that zone, and then we'll look for pullbacks. Same thing with GA. Monthly is going up. Weekly is throwing a wick. Daily is overbought, not divergent though. 4 hours overbought, not divergent, but it looks like it's going to drop again. So same thing with GA. Even though the GA looks like it could drop a little bit sooner, but it's weird because it's not really showing a head and shoulders, so it could just go whoop and drop. 15-minute. Yeah, so I'm going to say this. Expect it to go up a little bit higher and then take. Right? And then G-Chief. G-Chief, I don't really feel like – don't play this pair. It's in the middle here. EMAs are super tight in the 1 hour. This is what it's going to do. That's the most movement you're going to see. So that's it for this week, guys. I'm sorry I couldn't do it live again. I have to be somewhere, so I'm going to end it. I'm liking the setups for these pairs. The main 4 that I have: EU, GU, AU, Gold, UG looks good. So just keep your eyes on these. Whatever pairs you're looking at, make sure you're mastering them, and we'll get back to you guys next week, or I'll see you guys on Sunday to dominate next week as well. So that being said, peace out. Enjoy the weekend, and catch some pips. Peace.